Hi, everyone. Good morning and welcome to First Things First. I'm Jenna Wolf. That is the Hall of Famer Cris Carter. This right here is Nick Wright. Let's put our phones on vibrate before I get blasted by Nick, because I could feel that one coming. Everything good?
Jenna, your hair looks great.
Thank you.
Thanks to your guy, Freddie, our guy, friend of the show. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Freddie.
Happy birthday,
It's his birthday and the 3-year or 2-year anniversary of him joining the show.
Yes, your hair guy too?
Yes, absolutely. My hair guy, now that I have hair, all these things are accurate.
The hair club people, and then the plug people, and then all those people are taking.
This lie is going to follow me for the rest of my life.
5, 8,
I might shave my head again just to grow it out again to debunk all of this.
We were there and we did
our ratings are
Happy birthday, Freddie.
Thanks to the hair. Happy birthday, Freddie.
Bless the NFL for gifting us with headlines on this Wednesday morning. The Chiefs are front runners to land Jalen Ramsey. The Panthers seem to have Cam Newton problems. And the Giants finally pulled the long-awaited emotional move we've all been waiting for. Giants have finally turned the proverbial page from Eli Manning to this year's 6th overall pick, Daniel Jones. Clearly wasn't an easy decision for the Giants, who followed up last year's dismal season with an 0-2 start to this season. Yes, Eli gave Big Blue 16 years, 2 Super Bowls, and some of the best facial expressions in the game of football. But now the team turns to Daniel Jones. The rookie will get his first career start on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. C, we'll start with you. What was your reaction when you heard the news?
I'm not surprised at all. I made a comment on yesterday's show, especially with his record being at 116 and 116. If I was Eli, and it's hard when you're at the end. I was listening to Shannon talk a couple days ago, and he was talking about his last year. He was watching film, and he was watching a tight end run. He was like, oh, man, number 84 is slow. And he's like, oh, that's me. I remember my last year in Miami, not being in shape, end up in a hospital for a long period of time, and ultimately deciding after I got back healthy, that was enough football. There is no strategy to get out of this business. You either get knocked out or someone takes your spot. Very seldom are you ever you know something? And we like to say this, oh, you know, I'm ending on my terms. Well, you know, if you were ending on your terms, you probably keep playing, because this is not a job that you can replace. So I think they did the right thing. They have been milking this for a couple years. They have gone through a couple coaches and some star players on Eli's behalf. Because for me, if they had made an adjustment with Eli a couple years ago, would OBJ be there? Yep. Because OBJ might have been more happy. I'm not going to say that OBJ told me he was not happy with Eli. No, that wasn't the case. They just were not a good football team. So I think the Giants did the right thing. They were more than fair with Eli Manning. They have treated him better than any other superstar that the Giants have had. And that includes players that were better than them. Recently, Michael Strahan. No, they didn't treat Stray bad, but they didn't give him the Eli treatment.
Nope.
Lawrence Taylor, they did a lot of things for Lawrence Taylor, but he wasn't able to milk out a few years like Eli's been able to. And those are the greatest players in the history of the Giants. Harry Carson, he wasn't able to end his career the way Eli was, so they did him a solid. And you knew that once they drafted Daniel Jones, when they pulled that card and put his name on there, he was going to play this year. And, Nick, you were the one early in the year. There were people saying that, yeah, Daniel's going to play, but you had pointed out, man, week number 5, 6, like this.
I thought there was a clear exit ramp, and that was for the New York Giants. If you looked at the schedule, in week 6, they played New England. They're going to play New England on a Thursday. The following week, they have the Arizona Cardinals, a team that going into the year we didn't anticipate and still don't anticipate to have a great defense. Okay, you give Eli, who, keep in mind, the general manager said he might have a good 2 years left.
And told us we were watching the wrong film because he looked good.
He looked good
last season.
He might have 2 years left. Turns out he had 2 games left. And so I thought they'd give him 6 weeks, have the career end against the team where it had its greatest moments, the New England Patriots.
Even if he loses that game, which we thought he would, he'd be 3-3 against the Pats.
3-3 against the Patriots, and really anyone's ever going to remember is just the 2 wins in the Super Bowl. And then you'd have 10 days for your rookie to get ready for a beleaguered Cardinals team. That's what I thought they would do. Now, I think they did the right thing here in pulling the plug when they did. But once again, my critique on the Giants is they are trying to have, in the offseason and even now, trying to have it both ways. In that if you're only going to give Eli 2 games, then why give him the season at all? I know the cap is going up and up and up, but Eli Manning is over 10% of your cap this year for 2 games of football. Eli Manning, you could have saved $17 million if you would have had the hard conversation. The moment you drafted Daniel Jones, you knew Daniel Jones is finishing this season as our starting quarterback, no matter what you said publicly. So, yeah, for Eli's sake, I'm glad he's not finishing 116 and 118, 116 and 119 for his career record. At least he didn't get to finish with a winning record, but he didn't finish with a losing record either. But to do it 2 games in, you then wonder why they didn't do it 4 months ago when they could have had more flexibility. Maybe then they keep Odell Beckham Jr. and you go into this year with, Saquon, Odell, Danny Dimes, this young quarterback, some real optimism, even if people are skeptical of the rookie. So, yeah, given how the Giants have played, how Eli has played, we knew it was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen this week. I thought they'd give him a few more weeks, but this is long overdue.
They could have done it 4 months ago. They could have done it 2 seasons ago. I mean, there were a number of
exit ramps
along the way that they really could have done this. You said that this wasn't, there's no real great way for this to end. There's no ideal way for a football player to really exit the NFL. But did the Giants do right by Eli? Should they have, if they didn't do it then, should they have at least at this point let him finish out the season?
Well, it's hard to say which week you're going to go to. You know you're going to Daniel Jones at some point. Is week number 4 better than week number 2? Did they really give him a chance? Did Danny Dimes beat him out in training camp? Those are all questions that the Giants aren't going to answer that. And the reason why, because Dave Gettleman, since he's been a general manager, all he's done is lie to us. That's all he's done is lie to us. So we can't trust what he's going to say. And it started with, I'm not going to trade OBJ. He didn't have to tell us that. There's not general managers sitting around saying if they're going to trade players or not. So that was a comment that we didn't need. Go ahead.
So did they do this the right way then? Was this really
the only? There is no perfect way. Eli has made what, Nick?
He's made more money.
He's made a ton of money.
He's made more money. Well, hold on, just real quick so people understand. He's made the most money as a football player of any player in the history of the league. He has made more money in NFL salary than any player ever. And so, Jenna,
I think this is more about pride and less about money right now. He's not waking up this morning, Eli, going, "Well, I made a ton of money,
no, agreed,
so I'm in
but
good
if you're
shape."
asking, if your question's coming from the perspective of, did the Giants disrespect Eli? The Giants bent over backwards in a way I cannot remember a franchise doing to try to respect Eli. They have had 1 winning season since 2012. There are players greater than Eli. His brother's one of them. Tom Brady's one of them. We got 2 guys in my mind from his draft class, and Ben and Rivers, who are 2 of them, whose teams would never allow their franchise to atrophy the way it has at the hands of not just the quarterback, overall mismanagement, where the quarterback hasn't played well.
The coach got fired for benching him.
One coach got fired for benching him. The star quarterback, the star wide receiver, I would argue, the straw that broke the camel's back in that regard, was criticizing Eli in that interview. And so I think their problem wasn't removing the Band-Aid. It was doing it a quarter inch at a time. They could have ripped it off, and they refused to. But it is surprising to me that once you go into the year with Eli, he gets 8 quarters. And not even 8 quarters, because Daniel Jones came in at the end of week 1. He gets 7.5 quarters. If they were going to go into the season with Eli, I thought, give him the Bucs game, because they might win it. And then you have Washington, but I don't think they wanted. I think they wanted to get to Daniel Jones.
And they didn't want to do this coming off a win.
Well, they weren't going to do it coming off a win. If he wins the Bucs game, he gets a couple more weeks. But there was no good way to do this once they decided to go into the year with him on the roster.
Yeah, you know, playing in the National Football League, I got a theory. All of us got to exit. We don't know what the date is, but we do have an exit. We got an entry coming in. We got an exit that is definite. Someone's going to wear your jersey typically when you get done. So when you're there, you got 2 choices. Get as much memory and try to get as much money as possible. Try to get as many memories. Try to make the time you spend with your friends and everything and the relationships you develop that they're special, because that's all you got when you leave the league. So when you ask me the question, did they disrespect him? Well, they gave him the most respect. Money is the most respect. How much do you respect me? I'm going to pay you at the top of your field to do it, even though you're not one of the best at your field. So disrespect, that's overrated.
And just real quick before I move on, Daniel Jones will not be benched this season due to poor performance. But we are 2 weeks into the year. 7 starting quarterbacks from week 1 are not going to be the starting quarterbacks in week 3 due to injury. Eli Manning, where this could get bad for him, and we've talked about this, is if week 9 Eli's got to trot back out there after being the backup for the first time since his rookie year because Daniel Jones suffers an ankle sprain or some injury. I mean, they're not releasing him. He's going to be on the roster. He's going to be the backup quarterback in a role he has not served since his rookie year.
And he's got a no trade.
He's got no trade, and he's not going to waive it. He doesn't want to be traded. So this is where the Giants are right now, and the Daniel Jones era starts on Sunday.
All right, well, there's a lot to get to here. A number of angles. Eric Mangini will come out. We'll ask him what he thinks. But coming up, would landing cornerback Jalen Ramsey make the Chiefs clear-cut Super Bowl favorites? That's next on FS1. You can always check us out on the Fox Sports channel on Sirius XM. We'll be